So, welcome to the journey of recording a podcast with me. And this is how I repurpose content. And so, what I like to do is create a blog post that I will also repurpose as a podcast. And then later on, once I get better about recording YouTube videos and the proper setup for that, then I will turn that into a YouTube video as well. And my goal with the content that I have is that you can take that content and immediately use that to shift your mindset to take action in your business in a way that you haven't before, or to be able to immediately implement some kind of process or method or technology or tool, or whatever the case may be, around your money, around systems in your business that are ultimately going to help you be more in alignment with your business, to love it, to build a business that's worth owning, and one that you really just love to be part of at the end of the day, that makes an impact on people's lives that you can truly get behind. And so I'm all about purpose-driven business design. And so today I'm going to record the podcast of a few things that I wish I would have known and mindset shifts that I wish I would have been able to implement sooner in my business before I got started, because it would have made so much difference and it would have helped so many more people and it would have saved me a lot of trouble along the way. So I'm going to go over that today. So you're going to see what this looks like for the first round. You're going to see, this is my journey. This is what it's going to look like to go from zero to hero. I have no clue what I'm doing. This is extremely uncomfortable for me, and but I am very passionate about helping people break their limiting beliefs, because that has always been my number one problem myself. And so I'm really passionate about helping people build purpose-driven businesses that are extremely profitable, and I get to do this with people every single day. It is one of the things that I really enjoy doing, and the biggest thing that gets in people's way is their beliefs. And so I want to help shatter those. And so you can join me on my journey through building my own business, Progress to Profits, that helps other people do the same for themselves and just continue to get uncomfortable so that you can get to a life that is truly fulfilling to you. So hop on and let's get started. So I'm going to do this in Zoom. So this is the way that a lot of people have just coached me to just keep it simple starting out and do it this way going forward until, later on I can get a more robust recording platform and microphones and cameras and all that stuff. But I'm simply going to record this on Zoom. And for the most part, I'm going to read the blog post that I shared. Now, I think I'm a pretty great reader out loud. And so I'm going to be reading pretty much what I wrote in the blog, but I'll be adding a little bit of sweet and spicy on top of that, because if you've ever done anything like this, you know that once you get into the groove of things, that you really start to add a little bit of your own flair to it, and things come at you differently, and you're in a different mindset, and you just add different value than what you may have originally written. And so I'm excited to do that. So I'm going to get started. I'm going to record this to the cloud, and we are going to get started on the Progress to Profits podcast. So everyone has things they wish they knew, but too many times I see the same regurgitated 5 things or 10 things that don't really dig in to help us better understanding ourselves. Because while tools and tactics definitely have their place, those things have little value if we haven't first mastered ourselves and built our businesses with that awareness of ourselves. So I'm your cash flow queen, Brittany McKnight. Welcome to the Progress to Profits podcast. I am all about helping you build a purpose-driven business that is extremely profitable. And so today I want to dig into the 5 things that I wish I knew when I started my business. And I go back to the belief that the best business for you is the one that you love. This is something that I unashamedly believe, and you're not going to convince me otherwise. I know a lot of people that have businesses that are extremely profitable, make a lot of money, but they're not happy. And the thing that comes to mind for me is, imagine what it could be, though, if you really did love it. And so these are 5 things that really helped me to shift into building a business that I love. And I'm working on this every day. So, I am not in the perfection stage. I'm very much still in the progress stage. But these are 5 things that really helped me to shift my mindset and ultimately, at the end of the day, make more money for myself, not necessarily because of any specific tool or tactic, but at the end of the day, because of a belief that I shifted about myself and about what I do. And so this is an ongoing list that I keep as I document my entrepreneurship journey, but these are 5 things that I felt have been the most impactful so far. So I hope this resonates with you so that you can take action to define what you love, ditch what you don't, and delegate the rest. So the first thing I wish I had known was my working genius. And so recently I read a book called The 6 Working Geniuses, and then I took the assessment that goes along with that. And it was incredibly eye-opening for me. I've talked to so many people in the last couple of weeks, and as they're telling me about themselves or their team members or partners, I start to think back to these working geniuses, and I can almost identify with, exact clarity on what kind of working geniuses these people are going to have. And even as I go through this, I realize how life-changing this was for me, because I immediately took this. I had my team take this. We updated a lot of our structure and our communication channels immediately because of the clarity that I had on my working genius. And why this is so important is because it gave me confirmation on where I really thrive and where I provide the most value to people. And it allowed me to see where my team does that as well. And when we come together and we understand that about one another, we immediately create a more synergistic business where we provide more value as a default. And when you go to understand yourself better or implement anything into your business or fulfill a business plan, you want to understand how you can do these actions that will have a positive result as a default of that action. And so, for brief context, the book states that there are 6 working geniuses, and every person has 2 of them. Each person has 2 competencies, and then they have 2 frustrations. And so, I've always been a visionary person, and a lot of entrepreneurs will resonate with that. I love to learn how things work. And that passion has extreme value in the world. And I didn't really believe that when I started my business. I knew I was a tinkerer. I knew I was somebody that was fascinated by how things worked. And I always asked the question why. And I wanted to make things better. But I didn't understand really how that had value until recently, really. And so when I had clarity on my working geniuses, well, really before I had clarity on my working geniuses, I would feel bad for my frustrations. And my frustrations out of those 6 geniuses are enablement and tenacity. Now, not lacking in these areas is not an excuse, but it explained a lot and empowered me to ultimately be a better leader and to lean into what I love. Because I can see how I provide the most value with the way that I lend a new perspective and the ability to simplify nearly anything down to its essence to find solutions for others. And so overall, it helped me to see my power, and it seems that a lot of people could use the same confirmation of their own powers to lean into their passion, because that, I think that is one of the blockages that get into a lot of people's way, is that they don't understand clearly what their genius is. And so they feel bad for the things that are not their genius, and they stay in that negative energy, and that doesn't serve anybody, especially yourself. Because when you are in your passion, that's truly where you make the most impact. So you can go to workinggenius.com. It only takes 10 minutes. At the time of this recording, I think the assessment is $25. One of the best investments you will ever make, and it will give you back so much more. Now, this is not an affiliate link. I just really am a fan of the working geniuses. So that's the first thing that I wish that I would have known about myself and the value of that. The second thing that I wish I would have known is clarity around our client results journey. Like, what is the transformation that we want to take our clients through? And I say this because if you have any kind of special licensing, you went to school and got a specific degree, you probably thought, hey, I got this degree, I have to keep doing this thing. And so many people expect that of you. And so one of the mistakes that I made early on was not being clear on the transformation that I wanted to take people through, the difference I wanted to make in their lives. I knew that I wanted to have a big impact. I knew that I wanted to help people. I knew I wanted to make money easy for them and systems easy for them. I knew that I wanted to work with entrepreneurs and I wanted to build businesses. I knew that, but I didn't do that. And so what I failed to do is really go through and understand what is the value that these things that I love to do actually provide to create a result for people that they are going to want to go through this journey. And so I am a licensed CPA, and when I began my business, naturally all kinds of people wanted my input, because any business owner needs a CPA, or they need an accountant. They don't even necessarily need a CPA. And I'm going to have another podcast episode on that at a later date to help you better understand all of the different types of financial professionals you'll need as a business owner throughout your life. But back to understanding the client results journey, why this is so important is because I didn't have clarity on that. I took nearly any referral I got. And being a CPA and allowing that to be my identity, I got referrals from anywhere. And it's a lot of times like a nurse gets asked about people's ailments all the time. When they're sick, they call up their nurse friend, and that nurse may be somebody that works in a nursing home, and they're asking you about their child's illness. That is a completely different vein of genius and expertise. And yet, just because you're a nurse, they're asking you about it. So anybody, you can think about your situation. People probably do the same thing to you. Lawyers, doctors in general, anybody that has any kind of expertise. And so any professional, any business owner knows what I'm talking about. And the thing is that while referrals are such a blessing and they are the most inexpensive form of marketing, it can become an expensive problem when your referrals are not properly aligned with what you want to offer. And so the key here is to be clear on what you want to offer. And if I could go back, I would have invested in understanding messaging and positioning so much more. And actually, I have a business blueprint that I help take people through, and we don't even get into the nitty-gritty of business design until we first understand the purpose of that business, and then second is positioning, because it is so important for a profitable business to attract the right clients. And just because people need what you offer, it doesn't mean those people are for you. And so if I would have really refined my messaging and positioning so much sooner, I would have attracted the best clients and not necessarily took everything that came my way. And so rather than trying to be a one-size-fits-all solution to any business owner that came my way, this really would have allowed me to better articulate the payoff and the solution that my company provides, and it would have allowed me to avoid so much of the pain of hard conversations and just other things that have come along with growing a business and doing so with the wrong clients. So I don't really regret the lessons I've learned, and I think any person that truly has a growth mindset, you embrace those challenges and you're grateful for them. And it's definitely helped me to develop a skill of confronting challenges head on, for sure. But if you find yourself running a business right now that you know is out of alignment for your passion, take time to clearly articulate that vision for your life and what difference you want to make in other people's lives, your clients, your families, people watching you that will never buy from you. You know those people on Facebook that they are looking at your posts, they're stalking your Instagram, but they never engage with you. Like, you change those people's lives too. And when you are so clear unashamedly of your beliefs and how you want to help people, then you're still going to transform those people's lives. So I really encourage you to make sure you're making the investment to continually refine what does that vision look like, and what is the impact that you want to have people, and what is the journey, that methodology for that journey that you're going to take them through to get them that result. And so we have a great module in Progress University that's going to help you do this with ease. If that is something you're interested in, you can check out the show notes for a link and more information to that. And so on to the third thing is understanding that selling is the most important first skill to learn. Now, related to number 2 in defining that client results journey, which really has helped me to refine my positioning and messaging, I didn't understand how important the skill of selling was. And coming from a corporate world as a financial accountant, selling wasn't something I had ever really explored or understood. And I knew that great salespeople made lots of money, but I never thought about it before I began my business. Essentially, in that mindset of I'm a CPA, people are going to come to me. And they did, but go back to number 2. And again, I was blessed to get referrals along the way, but early in the infancy of Progress, they weren't necessarily the right referrals, but I didn't know that at the time. So if I had been clear on how I want to help people and clear on my working geniuses, I would not have sold people into traditional CPA offers, which would leave me burnt out, and then have to completely transform my business and transition it over again and let people down and have more of those hard conversations. And the value of really focusing on that selling skill is I would have been able to sell people again and again, attract the right people into offers that I created that I knew would provide value, but wouldn't be cookie cutter industry offers that would burn me out, and I would have done it my way. And, one of the things I know about myself, and as a visionary, as a dreamer person, you may very well resonate with this. If you have to do things that require you to continuously be in the weeds, you are going to be burnt out as a visionary person. If you are meant to be an idea generator and that is where you thrive and you have people that support you in getting things done, you don't want to, the last thing that you want to do is create programs, offers, services that are going to keep you down in the operations of your business. And one of the things to consider also is that, a CEO is responsible for leading the vision of the business and making sure the company and the team members and the products and the processes and service, you're making sure you have everything orchestrated and you are overseeing that, you're making it happen while you are also making sure that that company is going to continue to grow and thrive. And so knowing that about myself and having that clarity around that understanding, and then working with so many other visionaries, I now better understand that I'm not going to design any other services or anything like that that's going to require me to always be in a delivery mode. I want to be in that mode where I can communicate with people, I can mentor people, I can coach them, I can advise them on what to do, but I will not be that person to help you implement. I know that is not my strong suit. I can do that some of the time, but I cannot do that 80% of the time. I will burn out, and the value that I provide will suffer as a result of that. And so now I understand that helping entrepreneurs build a life that their business will support instead of vice versa is my passion, not tax returns, not financial statements, although these things are incredibly important and they are a foundation of your business, which is one of the reasons that we advise on building these systems out so that you have clarity over your tax situation, over your financial performance. And the chances are that you have skills that can make you money, but they don't make you happy, because if you're doing something for money, you will never do it well. If you're doing something that you love and you're getting compensated, you will do it well. So very fine line to understand about yourself right now. And it's great awareness for yourself to realize that there are things that you're going to be capable of throughout life all the time. You're always going to be able to do things, but where do you thrive? And it's important for your clients to know and have that for themselves, but that doesn't mean that you have to be the person for that thing. You can design it, you can build it, but it doesn't mean you have to deliver on it, which is why building out that client results journey that I mentioned earlier is so important. One of the last stage of that client results journey is the iteration phase, where you intentionally build out systems in your business to make sure you have education and training for your team so that they continue to do things the way that you want them done without requiring you to have to do it, right? And so because of the clarity of how you help people and who you are, selling becomes second nature. And that is really what is going to help grow your business. And if you ever wanted help in this area, I really recommend the Sales Girls. I have loved them. I love Cake Money Consulting. Taylor Quinn is a baller. And so you can find them on Instagram. Absolutely love them. I've been in both of their programs, still am, and highly, highly, highly recommend them because they helped me to refine the value that we create for people and how to deliver that based on learning how to sell. And so that is something, number one skill. Now, there's a lot of other skills that you need to know as the CEO of your business and being able to lead and grow your business with certainty and clarity. But number one, you gotta be able to sell, and not even just to clients and customers. You need to be able to sell your team on this vision. So everything that you're doing is selling. If you are trying to persuade your husband, or if you are, or your wife or your kids or whatever, to go do something that you want to do, but maybe they don't necessarily want to do, that is selling. And so understanding that has been incredibly valuable for me. The fourth thing is to be a solution seeker, not a problem solver. One of the worst pieces of advice that I ever got was to focus on solving people's problems and you will always be able to make money. There is truth to that statement, but not value to that statement. So this has been a huge waste of time. It attracts people with problems if that is all you're focused on. And I think the intention of this statement is pure most of the time, but I see the sabotage that so many people get into for themselves because what you focus on expands. And as an example, in my personal experience with this was focusing on people that were having money problems in their business, which means I was attracting those people. And while I wanted to help them, it didn't mean that I should have. But the money problems weren't the problem. Their money problems were a result of their actions or their limiting beliefs or the lack of actions they were taking. And I'll spare you the details, but really this was always a losing game for both parties because the ones that needed help couldn't afford it, and the way that I wanted to help wasn't affordable to those people. And so what it helped me to be able to see is that I need to solve bigger problems, and we need to be focused on the payoff, not the problem. When you are focused on the payoff, the problem will take care of itself. So as I better developed the skill of selling, I better understood the mindset that people truly wanted to help me grow, for me to help them grow their business. And so I understood how to shift my mindset to focus on the payoff, not the price, not the problem, and not the process. I am not educating when I am selling. I am focused on helping them shift their beliefs and helping them to envision the person that they could be. And then once we get into the initiation or the integration phase for that client, like they have purchased, they want into our ecosystem, then we will start to go over what does this process to the payoff that you want look like, and we will get in the weeds with that. And while those elements can be used to get attention so that our people know who we're talking to, they are not the focus, because when you focus on making people's lives better as a result, again, their problems get solved and oftentimes are avoided. And so the fifth thing that I wish I would have known when I started my business was this. This is such a when I heard this, the first place I heard this was Myron Golden. And, a lot of business owners struggle with charging people for what you do, especially when you love what you do. For a lot of people, it can be even more challenging to be able to charge for it because you enjoy doing it, but that doesn't mean that it's not valuable. That actually means that it's more valuable. And so I heard Myron Golden talk about this when I got to see him in person at an event, and it has been branded into my brain since then. Like, I will never not remember this. And he was talking about making offers, and one of his offers at the time was $350,000. And he said that sometimes our prices don't need to make sense. He said he was talking to a prospect, and he told them, I don't need your money, but you need to write that check. And what that really told me is like, he didn't need to make money from that offer. He already knew what he offered was valuable no matter what the price was. But if he was going to truly change somebody's life, it was necessary to get them in the field. It needed to make them use their noggin. They had to be intentional about this investment and make sure they use it, because how many times have we got something that was cheap and we knew that it didn't have the quality that we wanted, and so we didn't appreciate it, we didn't use it fully, it didn't cause any real pain for us, it was so easy for us to pay for it, and it just didn't make people pay attention. And so I made that mistake myself in my business. I made too many times, I priced offers and services way too low, and ultimately it was a disservice to those clients because they weren't attentive, because the price was something that they could afford. It was easy for them to pay. And then I saw how their results were not what I know I could have given them, because I couldn't give them what I wanted because there wasn't enough margin. And they were not invested at that point. Again, it was easy for them. It was comfortable for them to be able to pay that much money. They didn't squirm in their seat when they went on that auto pay. And so now I look at pricing completely differently, because I want to get people seriously transformational results, which allows my team and I to deliver high quality containers and service. And because quality is so important to me, I'm a big believer in buy once, cry once. I charge prices that I know will allow me to fully show up for that person and not need to cut corners to be profitable. And so along with this mindset and understanding, it's also a case of being responsible with your money so that you don't feel the need to make an offer for something that truly doesn't align with you. And so needing to make money is a scarcity energy that rarely ever serves anyone for lasting results and keeps you in a place that you can't truly thrive. And so that is something that I really learned to value that. Value charging people money and understanding it's not about the money, it's about getting you results. And so these are just a handful of things that allowed me to become a better leader, entrepreneur, and ultimately a better servant to the clients that we can truly serve. And for the ones that value growth and building impactful businesses that they can run from anywhere that they want. And so the clarity on these 5 things brought also the tools that I needed that were more apparent, and I wasn't swayed by every gimmick that I saw on the internet, because when you aren't clear on what you want, everything sounds good. When you are in that pain position, when you have these big goals and you are not there yet, more things look like they can get you there when you're not clear on what is the thing, what is the breakage, what is the bottleneck, what is the blockage that is preventing me from getting to that next level for myself. And so because of the clarity that I have about these things, especially over the last few months, I've been more able to clearly discern the type of coaches that I needed, what type of programs, so that I could truly master myself in my business as a CEO, as a leader, as a wife, as a mom, as a friend, as a mentor. And it has saved me so much time and money. I can give you some horror stories on some things that I've invested in. And I'm going to spare you the details right now again, but just you can even think about that probably for yourself and things that you invested in and you never truly utilized because that wasn't what you needed. And so if you're looking to build a business that you love to build and will support your life to do all the things, I really encourage you to follow for more, subscribe, and you may look into Progress University, where we have a suite of tools that makes business simple. Our team is at your fingertips, and we have live calls to address people, processes, and profit drivers that will give you certainty to run your empire. If you want to be the first one to know when our episodes release each week, then sign up. And we do not spam. It's only actionable info. I hope that you got value out of this episode. If you would please share this with somebody that you think this would resonate with and help as well, I would sincerely appreciate it. Other than that, go build your business. That's a wrap.